Welcome back to you, my blueberry pies. We have some breaking news again from Alex MagicBeard, the founder of IcosaHedron. He's actually just released right now an important update. The testnet contracts are ready to roll. Now, friends, I am not here to gloat, but I'm here to confirm our friendship because I want to tell you something. When we reached December, otherwise known as Dikember of 2023, I was telling you for a whole year, right before the Bitcoin halvening year, we're going to take a look at the field, whatever coins we can find, and we're going to say, wait a minute, you have not released any update in a long time. I wonder if you're going to release it in the Bitcoin halvening year by magic, hocus pocus, aliens, God, whatever it is. Everything starts happening. New website upgrade. What is this? It is what it is. Now, I grabbed a lot of altcoins, made a lot of lottery ticket videos to show you here and there. One of them was Icosa. If you remember, Icosa, friends, started going on a nuclear run, but because it was so undervalued, it's still so undervalued. Remember, Icosa and Hedron are actual leverages on HEX. You can see their ratios and how they overperform, hopefully, as we go up. Remember, they're expansion packs for HEX. What Hedron lets you do is you can make a stake through the platform and it gives you an NFT version of it. And then you can just hold it until the end or you can trade it. It gives you the bond curve. Now, it's very important because if you're doing like a 5-year stake, even like a 1-year stake, you should be doing it through Hedron. Because what if your seed phase gets compromised? Do you want to take that chance? What if someone sees your seed phase? What if your computer gets a virus? If you have the NFT of your HEX stake, you can just send it to your safe wallet. No one can do anything with it. It's beautiful, it's safe, it's free. Right now though, if you do all your stakes through a HEX wallet, you better protect that with your life. Because if someone gets to steal it, that's it. They're just going to emergency end everything and everything's going to go to zero because they're just going to steal everything from you. So this is really, really important. Okay, now, I'm reporting this as it comes now live. Alex MagicBeard, founder of IcosaHedron, he just announced the testnet V2 contracts. Okay, so the testnet contracts of IcosaHedron V2, sorry. So the concept is unity, which is basically means Pulse chain and Ethereum chain talking to each other. And one of the most anticipated features is for cross-chain staking for HEX. So you can basically stake your EHEX. You can stake it on the Ethereum side from the Pulse chain thing. So you never have to move it. Isn't that great? Now, I don't know how it's exactly going to work. He's a smart guy, man. He's probably figuring it all out, how it will do that. Of course, there's going to be costs and stuff associated with it. I'm not sure exactly how it would work, but it might be some sort of reimagining where it's like everybody joins a queue for the day and then the contract in 23 hours or whatever at a certain time, it'll stake everybody in the pool for the day. So it basically gets, because you've got to, I think it would save on gas if it does that. It saves on the gas fee. Instead of everybody doing a stake and paying $100 each time, it can basically combine one. I think, friends, I'm not a tech guy. I don't even know if Ethereum can do that. I'm sure something like that can be imagined as well. Also, remember here, it's important to note the IcosaHedron protocol will consider both Icosa and Hedron to be the same cost, no matter which chain it came from. That's important. So once again, there are two tokens. There's Icosa on Pulse chain, Icosa on Ethereum. Same as Hedron. They have a ratio between them. They're not one. But in this new protocol, Alex has said IcosaHedron V2, because when it will take a fee here and there, it's going to have like demand feature, the key missing links for these to have a demand function for them. Okay, it's going to assume that they're both the same cost. So basically, it's literally the same as if Richard Hart made a HEX contract that paid out HEX, but it didn't care whether you used PHEX or EHEX. If you wanted to stake, you would buy the cheaper one, throw it in the contract, and get your yield. Because if this contract, let's say it's 31,000 HEX for a T-share, well, you're like, wait a minute, 31,000 PHEX is like twice as expensive as 31,000 EHEX. So I'm going to buy the cheaper one. And then that's basically cost parity. That's how you're bringing it up based off cost. But the market if the market doesn't want them to be fair value, equal at one, it doesn't have to. If people want to keep paying a premium on one thing, let them do it. I mean, there's no advantage to it at all. So this is it's a very genius way to think about it. It's basically him saying, look, I'm not going to force the market to give them both the same value, but I'm going to make this protocol, it's going to assume they're the same cost. And now it's up to everybody else to decide, do people keep buying up the cheaper one to use it for the fees? to implement any of the features that they want. Now, all of the details aren't released yet, but you've got to remember, Icosa and Hedron are leverage on HEX. They are expansion packs for the ecosystem. They enhance the HEX staking feature and it acting as the monetary base. So it is a nice way to have leverage on the ecosystem. Now, this is the thing. I have the weekly chart here. So, friends, I love looking at ratios. I could show you them, but I've noticed it goes over a lot of people's heads. So for me, I'm just knowing them back and forth, but you just want to look at the USD price. What I've noticed is, see, if Ethereum does a 10x and I'm in an altcoin and it does a 13x, like barely above it, I think that's a failure. Complete failure. Or took all that risk for nothing. But I know other people out there, they'll be cheering for joy. Wow! And I'm like, oh man, like that means the ratio was trash. So if Ethereum did a 10x, I would want my coin to do like even 20 is a failure. You got to be doing 30x plus if Ethereum does a 10. That's for me because you took all that risk outside of Ethereum in a smaller network. You need to get compensated by this, okay? So we don't know exactly when it's happening, these upgrades, by the way, but they're coming soon, I guess. So we're probably going to find out some bugs here and there. Now, this is what it did. This is the Icosa. I want to remind you, when HEX was 3 cents, which is what it is now, around combined HEX, 3 cents. Look at the time. It was $1.38 back then. It's like 6x away. So remember, because this is leverage, yes, it's only free money if you buy the bottom. You got absolutely murdered every single month of August, all of 2022, all of 2023. It's been like literally 16 months of brutality. But I can show you as well the Icosa HEX ratio. This is it. You can see, friends, it's actually back in the zone. If you go back to the ceiling, look how big, man. This is huge. This is basically a 4.9x return on HEX. So if you tell me, okay, HEX is going to do a 20x from here, 20 times 4.9, that's a 98x on Icosa. So I don't know if it's going to happen. Lottery ticket. It's leverage. May as well punt it. That's what I'm thinking. Not financial advice, friends. I'm wearing a Pokemon bucket hat. Just to confirm, I am wearing a Pokemon bucket hat. Okay, so look at it. Now, I don't know when or how this thing is going to get back to the ceiling. That's what you're speculating on. First, Alex could have disappeared, by the way. He hadn't made a post since like August. It's been like 7 months. But that was the punt. That was the punt. I literally, down here, I realized, oh my gosh, you've been going on forever. So this has been going on forever. We just hit this point, and I said to you in my videos, man, I said, well, look, in 2024, people make updates. People make, Jack Levin's going to release his chain. Alex probably going to release updates. All these things just start appearing. These tokens are going to do airdrops, and they're going to release the coins, release the chains, ICOs. It's Bitcoin halvening year. That's what happens. And look, I was right. So I've got to remind you, I've just got a PeanutBrain though. Don't think I have like a 98% win rate. I don't. It's just that I got one thing right. Bitcoin halvening year repeating. So if I got that one right, everything happens. If you look at all these individual punts though, you think, wow, my friend Somi has literally a 98% win rate. No, I don't have that, man. It's literally, okay, we timed it. So therefore, everything's going up. Sweet. Everything really does mean everything, except a few rugs here and there, of course. But if you try to do this when the party's over, you have like a 0% win rate. It literally be like 0 to 5%, I'm not even joking. So it is what it is. That's why you always hear that saying, don't confuse brains with the bull market. I'm here just to tell you, right? You always got to remember to remain humble. Just little peanut brains. This is still big, by the way. If you're getting leverage on HEX, man, think about that. That's huge. Leverage on HEX, and there's no liquidation point. That's the best part. But it doesn't last forever. See, if this goes back here, look at this. If your entry is up here now, okay, sweet. You're going to make a 2x or you risk 60% down. I don't like that. Okay, but look at it down here, man. That's huge. That's your upside, and what's your downside? Pretty much sideways. Like I could say, yes, it could go down to 0. Theoretically, your downside is that. But I mean, look at that, man. Look at that huge upside. And you have a bull market, you'd think, man, these things are tiny market cap. 10 million, 15 million. It doesn't take much to smack these up. I also want to show you as well, you have the Hedron chart. And it's pretty much the same thing, friends. E-Hedron, P-Hedron. Look at this. This is like juicy. This is a full Hedron, right? Coming back March 2022. I'll show it to you right now. This is literally the full chart here. I'll just show you the full. Here we go. This is E-Hedron. This is, see, that's what I was doing at the start. Hedron, and look at this. If it just goes back here to 20x, this is 31x. That's crazy. Now, if I was entering, what would I do? This is just me, not financial advice. Okay, you've got your HEX, you got everything else. You're like, oh, I now want to throw into lower market cap stuff here and there. And actually, it's beautiful. You leverage on the ecosystem recovering. So if Richard or anybody pumps it, guess what? The residual pumps, these things reprice higher because it's the lower liquidity. Just like how trillions of dollars are trying to come into Bitcoin. Yes, as every $100 billion enters Bitcoin, money comes into Ethereum and the altcoins. It's the same thing. So what would I do coming? You got to decide on a ratio. I can't decide on any of these, friends, because now everything's moving too fast. But I would be like, okay, well, let's say you had 10 grand coming in. You go, all right, sweet. Put 6 grand in HEX. That's 6 grand in HEX. And I'll go, all right, well, now I've got 1 grand Icosa P, 1 grand Icosa E. Okay, so P Icosa, E Icosa, and then 1 grand Hedron, 1 grand Hedron. There you go. E Hedron, P Hedron, E Icosa, P Icosa. There you get them all on use Piteos.io, Piteas.io. You can get them. And yeah, it is very thin. That's what I will do, basically do. And I'm hoping everything moonshots. Now, what's your risk? Your risk is that obviously the HEX outperforms and that ratio stretches down. But it is what it is. I mean, you got HEX as like 1.8 billion valuation combined. This thing will be 10 million. That's what you're playing for. You're playing that the HEX yield goes down over time, which is it is. You know, it's programmed in to go down over time. And people have to stake longer. So if people have to stake longer, they're probably going to have to do Hedron stakes more just so they access liquidity, right? That's something you got to think about, just in case. So if people have to do more like 12-month stakes or 24-month stakes, it only makes sense. You have to do them through Hedron, the Hedron protocol. You get your NFT of that in case you want to send it. And then people could put on OpenSea or whatever if they want to trade it around. So it gives you more options, and that's the most important thing. Now, what about HEX and where we go from here? So this is the combined HEX price, okay? This is combined HEX. It is literally 2.9 cents as I'm recording right now. I'm hoping, this is just it, okay, just guessing, if this can go back to sacrifice price and 8x from here, I don't think Icosa goes back to the ceiling straight away. Hope it does. But let's say you get like a 3x. I can show you right now. So let's say if combined HEX does an 8x, what would it look like on that actual ratio? Because if we go back and have a look, it would be, I'm just guessing, man, just guessing. If we did 200% from here, you would land like up there, which is actually pretty nice. So maybe it does a 2x or a 3x. So around here, so you go around here or around here, around that zone. And then it will go, you know, either sideways from that point. Either way, it's out of the cheap zone. Very much out of the cheap zone if it comes around here. And then you have to punt around here. Like you think, okay, is it worth me holding another 2x versus HEX? What if the bull market's over? That's the type, see, these are the type of problems you run into as you get in later. We don't even know. And I'm going to remind you, right? I've got to confirm our friendship once again. Why am I actually your friend? Okay, I'll tell you right now. Name me a single other freaking person I can watch who has a big fat rectangle of cheapness to actually tell you, hey, this is where I'm getting, this is what I think fair value is. Don't touch it over that. Okay? Don't like be screaming for leverage over the things over, because it is what it is. You're buying in the depression. You bought on these cheap prices. Let everybody else play with it. And here's the funny part. Even though I can tell people, I saw this, by the way, in the last season, okay? See, I was always wondering, what are people going to say if Icosa HEX, let's say it's up here, okay? If it's up here, what are people going to say when I'm going, oh, man, it's not a buy anymore? What they ask me, they go, hey, how high is the ceiling? And I'll say, well, this thing can go another 80%. And instead of ignoring me, what they go is they go, oh, you said it's going 80% higher, so I'm going to get in now. That's actually what they do. Right, so they will actually do this, friends. I saw this. They actually go, oh, sweet, you said it's going up higher. And I'm like, I have to repeat myself. No, I said it could go up higher, just like it could drop 80% down from here as well. But people don't want to hear, you should have bought in the depression with me when I made 2,200 YouTube videos and everybody, right, had to be screaming through the blood and all the bears running around trying to claw us to death, right, in the village. I'm telling you, yes. But now those cheap prices are gone. Now they have to, like, you know, scavenge over each other. But that's the game, man. That's the game. And people don't want to hear, oh, well, it's a poopy time from that point. The risk reward sucks. But it could still be going up. Like, for example, this is the thing, man. We're both right and we're both wrong. Like, in terms of, like, and how am I wrong in terms of saying, well, it's poopy? It's because, like, in Bitcoin, if you bought, let's say it's February, right? February of 2021. Bitcoin hits 48K. And then it comes back down to 42. If you bought that, were you wrong? No, you weren't. Because it still went to 64. You still made a plus 50%. It actually did go up there. Okay, but are you wrong if you want to retire? Yeah, but you should have bought Bitcoin at 3,200 with me back in 2019, first quarter, okay? But they don't care about that. No one cares about that. So it's not about the right or wrong part. It's about the making money part. That's why you might just see people participate in these and they go, you know what? I'm going to keep buying and I'm just going to stay. And then maybe April 2021, which is actually here, April 2025, sorry, Coinbase hits #1 ranking app and I'm all done. That's it. That's what people, you might find people just do that. And guess what? I'm not going to stop anybody from doing that because at the end of the day, we're just guessing. I've got a Pokemon bucket hat though. You are my friend. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you soon.